Hey, warriors. There's a shadow inside you, a boy. He whines, he hesitates, he begs to be liked. Every time you act from weakness, he whispers, and the world notices. He is invisible to you, but deadly to your power. Tonight, he dies, or you remain a puppet of your own emotions forever. Most men never realize that the greatest threat to their future is not another man. It's not bad luck. It's the craving for comfort that quietly rules their decisions. They chase approval from strangers who don't even respect themselves. They forgive when they should remember. They seek validation that costs them authority, and with every compromise they feel safe, but they become smaller. The boy inside you loves safety. He loves being liked. He loves avoiding tension. He tells you to stay quiet when you should speak. He tells you to smile when you should walk away. He convinces you that keeping everyone comfortable is strength. But it's not strength. It's submission dressed up as kindness. The man you want to become is not born in comfort. He is forged through silence, strategy, and ruthless self-command. He does not react to every insult. He does not explain himself to people who question his worth. He does not panic when pressure rises. He observes. He calculates. He moves with intention. Niccolò Machiavelli taught that a leader's first conquest is always the self. Before you influence a room, you must command your impulses. Before you demand respect, you must discipline your emotions. Before you rise, you must destroy what keeps you small. This video is not about becoming cold. It is not about cruelty. It is about clarity. By the end of this journey, you will see the weak patterns that have been guiding your choices. You will understand the psychological weapons required to eliminate them, and you will begin the rebirth into a man whose presence alone commands fear, respect, and influence. Before we begin, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I rise unbroken. Let's get into it. Number 1. Hunt the shadow within. The most dangerous enemy you will ever face does not argue with you. He does not shout. He does not attack from the outside. He hides in your routine. He hides in your tone. He hides in the quiet moments when you choose what feels easy instead of what builds authority. The shadow survives in subtle surrender. It shows up when you delay a hard conversation because you don't want friction. It appears when you water down your opinion to avoid discomfort. It tightens its grip when you sense disrespect, but convince yourself you are overthinking. Each small retreat looks harmless. Over time, it becomes identity. You must learn to observe yourself the way a strategist studies an opponent. Pay attention to your internal dialogue before you act. Notice the split second where courage rises, then collapses. That collapse is the shadow. It will justify itself with logic. It will say timing isn't right. It will say patience is wisdom. Sometimes patience is strength, but sometimes it is fear wearing a suit. The difference is intention. Ask yourself a brutal question in real time. Am I choosing this because it serves my long-term position, or because I want relief from tension? Relief is seductive. Authority is earned. Most men never audit their behavior. They measure outcomes but ignore patterns. You must reverse that. Patterns reveal power leaks. Do you consistently soften your tone around dominant personalities? Do you over-smile in serious situations? Do you rush to fill silence? These are not personality traits. They are tells. A disciplined man studies his tells and eliminates them. Begin keeping mental records. When you leave a conversation feeling diminished, replay it. Where did your posture shift? Where did your voice tighten? Where did you surrender ground without realizing it? The shadow thrives in unconscious behavior. Awareness suffocates it. You are not hunting emotions. You are hunting reactions that reduce influence. There will be moments when you feel the urge to explain yourself unnecessarily. Pause. Let the silence stretch. Feel the discomfort without moving to escape it. That tension is training. Each time you resist the urge to shrink, you weaken the shadow. This process is not dramatic. There is no applause. It is surgical, precise, private. You are dismantling a version of yourself that was built for survival, not command. Survival mode teaches you to blend in, to appease, to avoid threat. Command mode requires composure, directness, and internal steadiness. You cannot lead your life while negotiating with insecurity. The first battlefield is internal, and it is merciless because it exposes truth. You will see how often you compromise your standards to maintain comfort. You will notice how frequently you seek subtle reassurance. Do not judge yourself. Study yourself. Then correct. Power begins the moment you stop lying to yourself about why you act the way you do. When you eliminate hesitation rooted in fear, your decisions gain weight. When your actions align with intention instead of anxiety, your presence changes. The shadow loses strength every time you choose alignment over avoidance. This is the hunt. Quiet, relentless, personal. Number 2. Transform anger into silent dominance. Most men mistake intensity for strength. They raise their voices, slam doors, fire off messages, and believe they've asserted themselves. What they've actually done is reveal their pressure points. The moment someone can provoke you on command, they own access to your nervous system. And access is leverage. The immature version of you reacts. The evolved version absorbs. When someone challenges you, disrespects you, or attempts to diminish you, there's a surge that rises from your chest to your throat. It feels urgent. It demands release. That urgency is a test. If you discharge it immediately, you hand over control. If you contain it, you convert it into something far more dangerous. Clarity. Calm under pressure unsettles people. It forces them to question their own stability. When you refuse to react, you shift the psychological terrain. The aggressor expects retaliation. He anticipates noise. Instead, he meets composure. That composure becomes dominance. This does not mean suppression. Suppression poisons you internally. Conversion strengthens you. When provoked, observe the details. Notice tone, timing, audience, intent. Who benefits if you explode? Who gains if you lose composure? In many cases, the trap is designed to extract an emotional display that weakens your standing. Do not provide it. Store the information. Every slight reveals something about the other person: insecurities, intentions, ambitions. When you remain steady, you gather intelligence. You see patterns. You identify motivations. Emotional control turns chaos into data. There is immense power in delayed response. You do not need to answer immediately. You do not need to prove anything in the moment. Space creates advantage. It allows you to respond strategically instead of impulsively. When you finally speak, your words land with precision because they are chosen, not triggered. Men who master themselves become difficult to manipulate. Think of steel placed into fire. If it panics under heat, it warps. If it endures the heat with structure, it becomes stronger. Pressure is not the problem. Lack of discipline under pressure is. Your objective is not to appear cold. It is to be unshakable. When insulted publicly, maintain eye contact. Slow your breathing. Let your silence stretch long enough to shift discomfort back to the source. Then respond in a measured tone, or don't respond at all. Both options are stronger than an emotional eruption. Remember this: unpredictability increases influence. When people cannot forecast your reactions, they tread carefully. When they know you will flare up instantly, they control the rhythm. Emotional restraint builds gravity. Gravity draws respect. There will be times when anger is justified. Even then, choose delivery over discharge. A composed statement delivered firmly carries more force than shouting. Authority is not volume. Authority is certainty without agitation. You are not eliminating passion. You are refining it. The mature man channels intensity into disciplined action, training harder, building smarter, moving strategically. He does not waste fuel on outbursts. He invests it in advancement. Every time you refuse to react impulsively, you reclaim territory inside yourself. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. Calm is power. Number 3. Weaponize rejection and betrayal. Rejection is not an ending. Betrayal is not destruction. They are revelations. The immature mind interprets exclusion as proof of inadequacy. It internalizes abandonment. It searches for flaws. It asks, "What's wrong with me?" That question weakens posture, distorts self-image, and erodes confidence. But a disciplined man asks a different question. He asks, "What does this teach me?" There is always information hidden inside disappointment. When someone overlooks you, dismisses you, replaces you, or underestimates you, you are being shown a mirror, not of your worth, but of their perception. Perception shapes opportunity. Instead of collapsing into wounded pride, step back and examine the pattern. Who made the decision? What incentives guided them? What signals did you send? Where did your positioning lack weight? You are not collecting pain, you are collecting insight. Betrayal is even more instructive. When loyalty is broken, emotion surges quickly. Shock, anger, disbelief. Resist the urge to react immediately. Pause. Distance yourself from the emotional wave and analyze the structure beneath it. How did this person gain access to your trust? What boundaries were unclear? Where did you overextend yourself? This is not about becoming paranoid. It is about becoming precise. Every setback is raw material. Most people waste it by replaying scenes in their head, fueling resentment. That resentment consumes energy without producing growth. Strategic men convert it into recalibration. Create a mental ledger, not to obsess, but to understand. Who misjudged your potential? Who underestimated your capability? Who assumed you would remain stagnant? Write their assumptions down, not for revenge, for fuel. There is something powerful about quiet advancement after being dismissed. When you improve silently and return stronger, the shift is undeniable. Those who doubted you feel it without you saying a word. This is not about proving them wrong publicly. It is about proving yourself disciplined privately. Rejection clarifies alignment. Not every door is meant to open. Not every partnership is meant to last. If someone exits your path, ask whether their absence removes distraction. Sometimes loss is filtration. Authority grows when you stop chasing what walks away. If an opportunity denies you, refine your skill set. Sharpen your craft. Increase your leverage. Make yourself difficult to ignore next time. Growth is the most intimidating response to dismissal. When betrayal occurs, elevate your standards. Adjust your boundaries. Trust should not be blind. It should be measured. You can remain open without being naive. You can be composed without being cynical. Strength is not the absence of hurt. It is the refusal to let hurt dictate behavior. Every scar can either define you or instruct you. Choose instruction. Let disappointment mature you instead of shrinking you. Let treachery teach you discernment instead of bitterness. You are not here to be validated by acceptance. You are here to build resilience through adversity. Those who misread you today may one day witness your elevation. Whether they applaud or remain silent is irrelevant. What matters is that you transformed friction into force. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Pain builds power. Number 4. Kill the social mask. There is a version of you that exists only for display. It smiles on cue. It nods in agreement. It adjusts its tone depending on who is in the room. It edits opinions to remain acceptable. That version was built to survive social environments, not to command them. The problem is not adaptation. The problem is dependence. When your identity shifts to match every audience, you lose center. You become readable, predictable, easy to manage. People sense when your behavior is calibrated for approval. They may not call it out, but they register it. And once they register it, your authority drops. The disciplined man does not perform, he presents. Presentation is grounded, performance is anxious. If you constantly monitor reactions, checking faces, seeking micro-affirmations, adjusting posture to win favor, you are negotiating your presence. Negotiation reduces weight. When you walk into a room, you should not be scanning for validation. You should be rooted in who you are and what you stand for. This requires internal alignment. Ask yourself where you exaggerate stories to appear impressive. Notice where you soften truths to avoid disagreement. Observe when you laugh at things that don't amuse you just to fit in. These micro-adjustments chip away at solidity. You do not need to be abrasive. You need to be authentic without apology. There is power in saying less and meaning more. When you speak with clarity instead of embellishment, people listen differently. When your words are not coated in the desire to please, they carry density. Mystery amplifies influence. You do not owe everyone full access to your thoughts, ambitions, or plans. Oversharing is often disguised as connection, but it can dilute presence. When people know every move you intend to make, they stop respecting your unpredictability. Restraint creates intrigue. This does not mean isolation. It means intentional disclosure. Choose what you reveal. Choose when you reveal it. Leave space for interpretation. Silence, when deliberate, shifts the dynamic. Confidence is quiet because it does not require constant reinforcement. If you catch yourself explaining decisions repeatedly to gain understanding, pause. State your reasoning once. Stand by it. Over-explanation signals doubt. Certainty, even in disagreement, commands attention. Eliminating the social mask may feel uncomfortable at first. You might experience resistance from those accustomed to your agreeable version. They may question your change. Stay steady. Consistency builds a new perception over time. You are not becoming colder. You are becoming clearer. Clarity removes unnecessary noise from your interactions. It sharpens your boundaries. It stabilizes your demeanor. It reduces the need for theatrics. When you stop performing, your presence deepens. When your reactions are no longer tailored for applause, your actions gain gravity. Influence is not built on being universally liked. It's built on being internally solid. Remove the mask. Let your posture, tone, and decisions reflect conviction instead of compliance. The world adjusts to those who are anchored. Number 5. Master strategic absence. Constant visibility is not strength. It is exposure. The immature instinct tells you to always be present, always be available, always be seen. It whispers that if you step back, you will be forgotten. So you respond immediately. You show up everywhere. You make yourself accessible at all times, and without realizing it, you reduce your own value. Scarcity creates weight. Overexposure creates familiarity, and familiarity, when unmanaged, erodes impact. When you are always around, your presence becomes background noise. People stop anticipating you. They stop respecting your time. They assume access. Assumption lowers status. Strategic absence is not withdrawal out of fear. It is calculated distance. There are moments when stepping back increases influence more than stepping forward. When a conversation becomes chaotic, silence shifts attention. When a group grows dependent on your constant input, restraint forces them to recognize your contribution. When someone expects instant replies, delayed response resets boundaries. Distance builds gravity. If you notice that others treat your time casually, adjust availability. If you sense that your attention is being taken for granted, reduce it, not to manipulate, but to recalibrate. Presence should be intentional, not habitual. When you enter a room less frequently, your arrival carries more energy. When you speak after listening longer than others, your words hold more significance. When you choose moments carefully, you shape perception. This principle applies beyond physical space. It applies to communication, attention, even emotional investment. Do not overcommit your focus to people who have not earned it. Do not flood others with constant updates about your plans. Let outcomes speak before announcements. Silence can be a statement. In negotiations, in disagreements, in tense interactions, the person who can tolerate silence often guides the direction. If you rush to fill every gap, you surrender control. If you remain composed and allow the pause to breathe, others reveal more than they intended. Absence also strengthens discipline. Time away from noise allows clarity. Stepping back from social validation sharpens self-reliance. When you are not constantly reacting to external input, you regain mental space to strategize. You do not need to announce your distance. Quietly reduce unnecessary exposure. Redirect that energy into skill development, physical training, strategic planning. Let your improvements compound unseen. When you return, stronger, sharper, more composed, the contrast speaks louder than any declaration. There is power in unpredictability. If others cannot anticipate when you will engage, they treat each interaction with more attention. Consistency in character, unpredictability in timing, that combination commands respect. This is not about playing games. It is about managing perception. It is about ensuring that your presence retains impact instead of becoming routine. Disappear when there is nothing to gain. Appear when it matters. That is strategic absence. Number 6. Forge absolute inner sovereignty. There is a difference between existing freely and living governed by impulse. Many men believe they are independent simply because no one gives them orders, yet they wake up ruled by moods, cravings, distractions, and external pressure. That is not freedom. That is chaos disguised as autonomy. Inner sovereignty begins the moment you stop negotiating with your lower instincts. If you promise yourself you will wake up early and you break that promise, you weaken your authority. If you set a boundary and then bend it to avoid tension, you dilute your credibility. If you commit to a standard and compromise it for convenience, you train yourself to accept inconsistency. Self-rule requires discipline that does not depend on emotion. You do not train only when motivated. You move because it is scheduled. You do not maintain standards only when convenient. You uphold them because they define you. When your actions align with your declared principles, something shifts internally. You begin to trust yourself. Trust in yourself builds stability. Without it, every challenge feels heavier. With it, obstacles become manageable because you know you will not abandon your own structure under pressure. Create a personal code, not vague ideals, clear, measurable standards. Decide how you speak. Decide how you respond under stress. Decide how you treat your body, your time, your commitments. Write these rules down if necessary. Make them concrete, then enforce them. This enforcement is not loud. It is quiet and consistent. When temptation arises, you do not debate endlessly. You recall your code and act accordingly. Each time you follow through, your internal authority strengthens. External control loses its grip on a man who governs himself. Peer pressure fades when you have defined your own expectations. Social trends lose influence when your direction is clear. Emotional turbulence loses power when your discipline remains steady. There will be moments when maintaining your standard isolates you. Accept that. Not everyone will understand your refusal to compromise. Some will interpret your firmness as arrogance. Let them. Sovereignty is not built for approval. It is built for stability. When your internal structure is firm, your presence changes. You move with intention. You speak with conviction. You do not second-guess every decision because your choices are rooted in defined values rather than temporary feelings. Impulse weakens. Focus sharpens. This is not rigidity, it is clarity. You can adapt strategies without abandoning principles. You can remain flexible in tactics while staying firm in identity. The disciplined man does not allow circumstances to dictate who he becomes. He chooses who he is first, then navigates the world from that foundation. Every time you honor your own rule, you reinforce self-respect. Every time you betray it, you erode that respect. Inner sovereignty is earned daily. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Self-ruled. Number 7. Ritual of the final execution. Transformation does not become real until it becomes decisive. You can think differently. You can feel differently. You can even act differently for a few days. But if there is no clear break between who you were and who you are becoming, the old identity lingers. It waits. It studies your weak moments. And when pressure rises, it returns. That is why the final step is not theoretical. It is symbolic and practical. Execution means separation. You must draw a line in your life that you do not cross again, not quietly, not casually, deliberately. The immature version of you survived through habits, late nights without purpose, constant distractions, tolerating disrespect, chasing attention. If those patterns remain in your environment, they will resurrect him. Remove what feeds weakness. Look at your surroundings. Are there routines that reinforce laziness? Eliminate them. Are there connections that normalize mediocrity? Reduce access. Are there digital habits draining focus? Cut them cleanly. This is not about dramatic gestures for appearance. It is about structural change. A ritual marks commitment. It can be private. It can be simple, but it must be intentional. Write down the traits you are leaving behind. Hesitation, over-apologizing, emotional volatility, inconsistency. Acknowledge them without shame. Then declare their end. Speak it out loud. There is power in hearing your own voice define your future. When you articulate a standard verbally, it becomes more concrete. You are no longer thinking about change. You are declaring it. From that moment forward, decisions must align with the man you are constructing. When you feel tempted to revert, pause and ask, does this choice belong to the old identity or the new one? That single question interrupts regression. It forces awareness before action. The previous version of you will not disappear quietly. It will attempt to negotiate. It will whisper that one compromise does not matter. It will argue that discipline can wait until tomorrow. Do not debate. Do not rationalize. Reject immediately. Consistency solidifies identity. Each aligned action strengthens the new foundation. Each refusal to slip reinforces the shift. Over time, what once required effort becomes instinct. What once felt uncomfortable becomes natural. Execution is not about self-hatred. It is about self-selection. You are choosing strength over softness, clarity over confusion, authority over passivity. This choice must be reinforced daily until it is embedded. There is no ceremony from the outside world, no applause, no announcement. The change happens internally first. Others will notice gradually, through your posture, your tone, your boundaries, your decisions. The immature version fades not because you despise him, but because you have outgrown him. This is the final separation. Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. The boy is gone. If you have stayed with me until this moment, something inside you is already shifting. You have seen the shadow. You have felt the tension between who you've been and who you're capable of becoming. And now you understand something most men never accept. Power is not given. It is built internally, decision by decision. Destroying the boy within you is not about cruelty. It is about command. It is about refusing to let fear dictate your tone, your posture, your standards, or your future. It is about ending the cycle of hesitation, emotional leakage, and quiet self-betrayal. When you hunt your weaknesses, control your reactions, convert pain into fuel, remove the mask, manage your presence, enforce your code, and execute your old habits, you don't just improve, you transform. What remains is a man who moves with intention, a man who doesn't rush to prove himself, a man whose silence carries weight, a man who is calm under pressure and decisive under fire. That kind of presence cannot be faked. It is earned. Understand this clearly. The world may not clap for your evolution. Some people may even resist it. That is fine. Growth is not about applause. It is about alignment. From this point forward, every choice is a test. Every reaction is a signal. Every compromise is a crossroads. Choose carefully. If this message challenged you, strengthened you, or awakened something in you, then support the mission. Like this video so it reaches men who need it. Share it with someone who is ready to step into discipline. And subscribe to the channel if you are committed to becoming sharper, stronger, and more sovereign with every lesson. Now drop this final affirmation in the comments. I command myself, and live in a way that proves it.